Yo, what's up everyone? Today we're going to go over the Noah Scott Webflow portfolio template found at webdevforyou.com. This is a great template if you're a web designer, photographer, an illustrator, or any type of creative, and you want to showcase your work in a really unique way. So I have the template here, so I'll showcase it really quick, and then we'll get into the responsive design of the template. So here if I click through, we can see that the images are coming in from the left and the right, and it creates a really nice effect as the user navigates through the site. Here we have the title, the paragraph text, and if the user clicks here, it can go to an internal link, external link. We could even open up the link in a lightbox to showcase, let's say, a video, an image, or YouTube or a Vimeo video. All right, and then one thing I'm really excited about with the template is if we click on the contact page, we have a panel that comes in from the bottom to the top, and it's just a really nice effect. You can hover over these images and it looks good. Then the user can click here on this email and it opens up the user's email client where they can send you an email or the author of the site an email. And then we have the social media icons here and it looks good. So these images also link out to an external link. So there's a lot of functionality within the template, and there's just a lot of nice movement, and it can be a really nice way to showcase work. So this template can be found at webdevforyou.com. If we scroll down here, it is the Noah Scott template, and on the template page you can preview the template, you can preview in the Webflow designer, and you can view the documentation of the template along with all the features, and this video tutorial will be on the template page as well. Alright, so that's a quick overview of the template. Next, let's get into the responsive design of the template. Alright, so here I have the template opened up in Sizzy. We can go through. This is the desktop version. So Sizzy is an application that I like to use to view a site on different devices. So yeah, we can view it here on desktop. Looks good. We can look at the iPad Pro. Nice, looks good. The contact section comes up. Very nice. Then we have the Galaxy S10. So on mobile devices, we're saving a bit of real estate, so the slider is a bit smaller, and we don't have the larger image on the mobile version. Then we have the contact, looks good. And let's look at the Pixel 3. Nice contact, and we can go through the slides here. And the iPhone 11 Pro. Nice. Let's try that again. Looks good. Awesome. So yeah, the contact page here doesn't have the other images that we saw on desktop, just to save a bit of real estate for mobile because it is a smaller device. Awesome. So that is the template across different devices. Now let's take a quick look at the template in Webflow. So here I have the template in Webflow. Let me close the navigator here. And it's just lost my words there for a sec. Here's the template in Webflow. And we have the desktop version, we have the tablet version, so everything's a little bit more condensed. We have the mobile landscape and mobile portrait layout. So we can edit the template on each of these layouts, and the styles cascade down. So if I edit something on desktop, it'll cascade down to tablet, mobile landscape, and mobile portrait. If I just edit on tablet, it won't cascade to desktop, but it will cascade down to tablet and mobile, and so on and so on. So styles cascade down to the layouts in Webflow. Webflow recently introduced the larger breakpoints function, where we can now design for larger breakpoints, and those do cascade up rather than down. But yeah, that's an option here to add the larger breakpoints. Nice. So that's the responsive design of the template in Webflow. The next thing I'll cover is working with the slider and adding new slides. So this is going to take up the majority of the video because the slider is a bit in depth, but I'm excited to go over it and show you all the functionality of the slider. All right, so let's take a quick look at the navigator and take a look at the structure of the site before we get into the slider. So here I'll open up the navigator, and the first thing we see, we have the body, we have the section wrapper, we have the hero wrapper, if we open that there, and in the hero wrapper we have the nav wrapper, the slider, the contact wrapper, which comes in from the bottom to the top, and the copyright info at the bottom. So this is a full viewport site, so on every device and browser, it fills the entire viewport of the browser and device. So we have the slider right here, and let's just take a quick look at the structure of the slider. So I'll open it, and in the slider we have a mask, so I'll open the mask, and then we have the 6 slides here. So now let's go into each slide. So I'll open the slide. We have a slide inner wrapper. Then we have the slide column, which is the left side, and we have the right side. So 2 slide columns for the left and the right. And then we have the slide inner column, which is this section here with the title and description and the image, the smaller image. And then we have, so let me open the navigator a bit more. Yeah, that's better. So this is the, let's see, slide inner column is this right here in the first slide column. Then we have the slide numbering wrapper, which is the numbers of each slide. And if I open up the slide numbering wrapper, we have the different numbers for the different slides. Then we have the slide small image wrapper, which is the small image. We have the image inside of that, and we have a couple of overlays. And then we have the title, the project details, and the details link. And on the right slide column, we just have the slide large image. So there's quite a few nested things in here, so it's kind of nice to open it up, unpack it, and see what's in each div and element on the site. So that's the structure of the slide and the site. So the first thing I'm going to cover is just how to quickly edit images, edit content to really customize it to the look and feel that you'd like. So to edit content, it's really simple. Just double click and just change the text here. So here I'll say new project, and then I'll double click, and then I'll say in here, this is some new text. All right, looks good. And here I can change the details link. I could say view on Behance, for instance, instead of Dribble. So all the text is customizable. Everything is customizable within the template, and I can replace this image as well. What's great about this small image is that it's in an image element, so I can add alternative text for screen readers that don't know that don't show images. We can add a description to let the user know a little bit more about the image. And this larger image is actually a background image, so there's no alternative text for this background image. So here I can replace the image. So before I do that, let me just add a few images in the assets panel. So here I have a few images ready, so I'll just click, hold, and drag, place right in there. So if you have your own images, you can just drag and drop, and it's just that simple. So right now it's loading, or adding those images in there, and it looks good. So let's go ahead and replace this small image. And actually, there's one thing I want to cover before I do that. Let's go ahead and preview, and let's take a look at what happens here. Take a note of this image, and if I go to the next slide, notice that everything jumps up here. So again, jumps down and then jumps up. So the reason this is occurring is because this paragraph text only has 1 line, and this paragraph has 4 lines, and it's pushing all of the elements here. It's pushing it up because there's no set height to this section here with the numbers and the image. We didn't set a height, so it's getting the height from the elements inside of it. A few things we can do here to fix that. We can go to the first slide and just add a few line breaks. So I know there's 4 lines in the other slide. So here I can add 4 or 3 more line breaks to have 4 lines on here. Or yeah, 4 lines on this one. So now if we preview and I go to the next one, they're all on the same line here, or the elements don't get pushed up and down. So it looks more consistent with the slider there. The other alternative, I don't mind using this alternative. I kind of like this one. The other one is to set a specific height to the slide inner column. So yeah, the slide inner column is what has the numbers, the image, and the title, description, and link. So we can just set a specific height to this. So right now the width is 100%. So I can set a height of, let's say, 60%. All right, it does push everything up, so you'd have to kind of gauge how tall you want this to be. but it does change the orientation and the positioning of a few elements, but that's another alternative. So now we can see the text is there. If I go to the next slide, the text is here. So the slides don't change. They're all on the same line because we gave a specific height to that slide inner column. Personally, I like the line breaks. It feels a bit cleaner. Either way, it works. So I'm just going to add 3 more lines in here and just let the slide inner column inherit the height inherit the height from the elements inside of it. It all depends. If you have multiple slides with different lines, you might want to add a specific height, but if all of your paragraphs have the same number of lines, then you could probably just leave it, or you could add line breaks to make sure that all the paragraphs have the same number of lines. All right, so that was a bit in depth, kind of covered that in a bit more detail than I wanted to. But yeah, it's good to know just in case you find that slides are moving up and down and are not consistent with each other. All right, cool. So now let's go in and replace this image. So I'll click on the element settings, click replace image, and I'll select this art image. Okay, cool. So right away we notice something that's not great, right? So the image is larger. The reason the image didn't get large, the previous image didn't get larger, is because it was perfectly cropped to be that size. And that was just a design choice. But there's quite a few cool things we can do here. So for this slide small image, we can give it a specific height, and it'll apply to all the slides on the site because they all have the slide small image class name. So here I'll select it, and for the height, I'll set it to 150 pixels. Cool. That looks pretty good. But the image got squished, right? So we don't want that. But one thing we can do, Webflow recently released this option, is we can set the fit option here. So rather than fill, we can set it to cover. And this will make sure that the image doesn't get skewed inside of the aspect ratio of the image dimensions, the image element dimensions. So this is a fairly new feature. Before we could only set fit options for background images, and now we can set fit options for the image element. So mind blown. The effect wasn't great, but yeah, we now have a lot of great options in Webflow. That's why I love Webflow so much. It really stays current with all the latest technology and lets us do a lot of amazing things. All right, cool. So yeah, let's take a look at the site. Let's preview it. That looks good. And notice that all the images now have a height of 150 pixels to match, to make sure that everything is consistent on each slide. So to review, we added a specific height to the slide small image and set the fit property of the slide small image to cover. Nice. So now let's change the image for the slide large image. So I'll select it here, and I'll click on this slide, or the background image, choose image, and I'll select this one here that says art. It's already set to cover and perfect. So now if I preview, bam. Just like that, we've changed the content for the slide and everything looks really good. All right, so now the more in-depth topic, which is adding a new slide. So because this slider has a lot of components and elements to it, adding a new slide is a bit more involved. So I'll quickly go over it. It is in the documentation. So if we go to the template page and we view the documentation, and let's see here, if I go down to the adding slides, so everything I'm covering here, a lot of it is in the documentation. So if you have any questions, definitely take a look at the documentation. You can also reach out to me and I'd be happy to answer any questions regarding this template. All right, so I'll scroll down. It's on page 10, I believe. Yeah, so it starts on page 10 and we have specific steps to adding slides. So adding slides starts on page 12 and it goes through step 1 through 6. So I'll cover it all here. Everything I'm covering is in the documentation, but I'll quickly cover it here as well. All right, so we've opened up the slide, so I'm not gonna kind of repeat that. So we opened up the slider, we opened up the mask, and then we opened up the first slide here. So here I'm on the first slide. So we wanna add a new slide. So we wanna keep opening up the elements until we get to slide numbering wrapper. So when we get here, we want to add a new numbering inner wrapper, which is a new number here, as we can see. So all we have to do is hit Command C and then Command V to paste. All right, and then we can open up the numbering, the last numbering inner wrapper that we just pasted. Click on the number text block and change this to the next number, which is a 7. Nice. So now we have 7 numbers here. And what we want to do is copy this new numbering inner wrapper to each slide. Okay, so I'm going to hit Command C to copy. I'm going to close this first slide, going to open the second slide, and go into the slide numbering wrapper, and then hit Command V to paste. So it pastes in that new number 7. All right, so I'll go to the next slide, open it up, go to the slide numbering wrapper and paste. There it is. And then I'll go to the fourth slide, keep opening it up to the slide numbering wrapper and paste. Notice that 7 gets pasted in there. And then we'll go to the fifth and just open it up and paste. And did I open up the right one? Okay, yeah, so slide numbering wrapper, then I'll paste. Okay, cool. And then number 6. All right, so number 6 right here and paste. So number 6 has 7. So after all the current slides have the new number, we can copy and paste the last slide. So here I'll hit Command C to copy this slide and then paste. So now for this last slide, we want to add the active state to the last slide. So if you notice, each slide, when we get to the slide, it has an active state of bolded for the number, and it has this line here. So for the last slide, let's go ahead and open it up to give it the active state. Right now the active state is on 6. We want to add the active state to 7. So I'll keep opening it up right in here. The slide numbering wrapper looks good. Then I'll open up the last 2 numbering inner wrappers. So we see that number 6 has this numbering line. We want to add that numbering line to 7. So we can just hit Command C to copy and then paste in the last numbering inner wrapper. So now the 7 has the line, and now I can delete the line from number 6. And then number 6 is bolded because it has the combo class bold. So we want to remove this combo class from number 6 and then go to the number text block for 7 and add the combo class bold. And this will make the number 7, it'll make it bold. All right, so looks good. And now we have a 7th slide. So I can go back and we're on slide number 7. Awesome. So let's go ahead and add some new content to number 7. I'll go into the slide small image, replace image, and let's do this one. That one's pretty cool. And click on the slide large image. And one thing to note here, because this is a background image, it has a combo class of 6, so it can have its own unique image. So here for the 6, I'm going to click remove class, and I'm going to add 7. And notice it changed to the first slide image that didn't have a combo class. So that's the first, that art image is for the first slide within the template, and all of the consecutive slides have a combo class of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now we're going to add 7. Not Sebeb, 7. Cool, 7. There we go. And now we can add a unique image. So this part's important because you might end up changing the slide of the image of another slide if it doesn't have the correct combo class, or if it doesn't have a specific combo class applied. Combo classes let us add unique properties to individual classes. So all the large images have the class slide large image, and then when we give a combo class, we can give it a unique image on each slide. All right, cool. I think I went over that enough there. Nice. So I just added that image, and bam, just like that, we have a new slide. It looks great. Let's go through, and we get to number 7. Bam, just like that, we added a 7th slide. And that's basically it. I know there's a few steps in there, but Following those steps, you can easily add as many slides as you'd like. Probably wouldn't go too much more because it would end up, these numbers would end up going past this this image here, and on mobile you just want to be kind of aware of how many numbers are here on the right. So maybe 10 slides would probably be the limit. All right, cool. So the next thing I'm going to cover is linking this view on Dribble. I'm going to link it to a video. So I'm going to cut this section here actually, because we just covered a lot of important things with the slider. So this next section is going to be on adding a lightbox to the link element. All right, so now let's link this element here. So if I go to view in the designer, let me go back in here. And if I look on here where it says view on Behance, we'll work with the first slide here. So this is a link. So if I click on it, we can go to the element settings, and here we can see that it's linked to Dribble. So we can link to a URL, we can link to a page if we had more pages on the site, we could link to a page section, email, phone, or a file. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward there. So now let's get a bit more kind of creative with it and add a lightbox within the slider. So that'll be fun. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the details link, and the details link is inside of the, let's see, project line wrapper, project, let's see, it's inside of, it's actually, yeah, it's inside the slide inner column. So this details link is inside of the slide inner column. So we want to select the slide inner column, and we want to add an element, and we'll add a lightbox here. Nice. So we can see that lightbox went below the details link. We actually want to delete the image inside of this lightbox because by default it comes with an image inside of it. So I'll go ahead and delete. Perfect. So now we have this lightbox link, and in this lightbox link, we can try this, like placing this in here, but you can't place a link inside of a lightbox link, and we can't convert this this link to a regular text block. So inside of the lightbox link, we actually have to add a text block. So here I'll hit Command K, it's a shortcut to add elements, and I'll add a text block. And here I'll type in view view video. We'll just say view video. And then for this text block, I'll give it the same class name as this details link. So we can see the class name is details link. So here I'll select the text block and I'll call it details, or select it here, call it details link, and the same style gets applied. It has a link underline because the lightbox link is a link. So we want to select the lightbox link, go down to typography and set the display setting to none. All right, not the display setting, the text decoration to none. Nice. So just like that, we've styled the lightbox link and it looks good. All right, so the next thing we'll do is delete this details link from the slide. So I'll just go ahead and delete. And this lightbox link, let's see here, it's a bit larger than I want it to be. So let me try something here. Let me remove the class. And I'm going to call this lightbox link, give it the class name details link as well. And not quite. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, let's undo that. We'll leave the lightbox link like that. For the details link, yeah, actually that's okay. We can leave it just like that. I'm okay with that. So right now it says view video, and it's in a lightbox link. All right, cool. So we added a lightbox link, we added a text block inside of that, and we gave the text block the class name of details link, and it looks good. All right, so let's add a video. So let me go into the WebDev for You shop here, and let's see here. I just recently created a video on the Liam Ward, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that video from my YouTube channel. So let me go ahead and pause and just grab the video from here. So I'll hit copy for this video, go back into the template. Now I have the YouTube link, and I'll click on the lightbox link, go to element settings, and here for the video, for the media, I'll add a video, and I'll paste that YouTube video in there and click save. And now I'll preview. So now when the user clicks view video, it opens up the YouTube video. And bam, just like that, we added, or I meant to say, yeah, bam, we added a YouTube video. The user can play it and watch it right within Webflow. Nice, or within your site. Looks good. So you can do that for all of the slides or just a few. Some you can link out to an external project, maybe on Dribble or Behance, and some you can just showcase a video for the project. Nice. So cool. If you watched this far, kudos, or yeah, I know this video is getting kind of long. I am covering a lot of information. Yeah, so the next thing I'll cover, let's see, we've added the slider. Let's go over the contact section that comes in from the bottom to the top. All right, so I'm gonna unpin the navigator here so we have a bit more real estate. And let's go ahead and let's close or collapse the structure here within the navigator. So to edit the contact section, let's open it and let's select the contact wrapper. And here I'll go to the styles panel and let's go to the position property. And for the position, rather than negative 100%, let's set it to 0%. Okay, and now we have access to the contact section. We can edit all the contact here. We can relink the email link. We can swap out these images. We can link these images to different elements or different projects or pages in the site. So if you have an external project, you can link these images to those projects. And yeah, all the content here can be edited, and even the close button text can be edited as well. And after we're done editing everything, we can select the contact wrapper again in the navigator, go to the styles panel, go to the position property, and set it back to negative 100%. And it goes back down off the canvas. And then after we preview, everything works as expected. Nice, looks good. So that's it, that's editing the contact section. The next thing we'll cover is interactions. So let's quickly go over that. So throughout this template, there's quite a bit of interactions. Everything, pretty much everything on the site has an interaction to create some unique animations and interest within the template. So the contact section has this menu underline. This new project has the menu underline as well. And pretty much every time we go to a new slide, that's all interactions. The images coming in from the left to the right, that's an interaction. The contact coming in from the bottom to the top is an interaction. And these hover effects are interaction, or I believe those are states. And this close button has an underline as well. So I'm not going to go too in depth with interactions. You can, basically an interaction, if we go to the navigator and we see any element with a lightning bolt symbol next to it, it has an interaction applied. So this means we can select it and we can go to the interactions panel and we can see the interaction here. So I can click, and here is the timed animations. So I can go through and see what's being animated. So here it's the close line. We can change the easing, the duration, to change the feel and the animation of the site. So here are all the interactions: the project line animation, in and out, the slide animation in and out, contact wrapper open on click, so it's the panel coming in from the bottom to the top, and the closed text wrapper on hover and on hover out. Nice. So yeah, basically any element that has a lightning bolt symbol has an interaction applied. I will leave a link in the description area below to interactions, or actually it's on the template page. If we scroll down to interactions, right here, smooth interactions, you can take a look at the video course in the Webflow University that covers how to work with interactions in a lot more detail. But yeah, it's a bit more involved. A lot of my video tutorials are on how to create interactions. So if you're interested in creating cool animations, I definitely recommend checking out those older videos on my YouTube channel. All right, cool. And if we go into the slider, we can see that each slide has an interaction applied. So it has a slide animation in and a slide animation out. So if we look at it, we can see there's quite a bit of timed animations and elements. So here we can see the image comes in, and then the large image comes in. So if we play it, this interaction, the images come in just like that when the slide comes into view. And then slide animation out, we play that, and yeah, basically it just moves the elements back off the canvas, and then brings it back in or off the slide, and then brings it back in when the slide comes into view. All right, cool. So that is interactions. I will leave, the links are on the template description if you want to learn more about interactions. The next thing I'll cover is the style guide and the global swatches. So what's cool about this template is that all the colors can be changed pretty quickly. If we go to the pages panel and we go to the style guide, we can see all the styling that's been applied to the template. So we have the heading, the H1, it's using PT serif with a font weight of 400 and a 25 pixel font size. We have heading 2 with the description, we have paragraph, what text the paragraphs are using. So all this is customizable. You can actually select the paragraph and go to the all paragraphs tag, which is the global selector, and customize the font here, and it'll be applied to all paragraphs within your site. Cool. And then we have the color usage. So this is really interesting. So all these colors are added to the global swatches. So for instance, and it shows what elements are using what color. So for instance, if I want to change the color of, let's see here, of the contact wrapper, so it's this color, I can just go into the background colors, select the global swatch, so it's called dark gray. I can click the little pencil icon that says edit swatch, and I can change the color here. So let's change it to like let's see here, I don't want it to be too weird of a color, so like something like that. Let's try it, save, and let's go to the home page and preview. Now when I open the contact, we can see it's blue. So just like that, you can edit all the colors within the template very easily from the global swatches. So I'll go back to the style guide. Let me change the color back to, let me edit it and change the hex color here. I know the color by heart, the hex color. So I'll just save that, and looks good. So we can change, let's see here, if we change this white color, this would change quite a bit. Or let's try to, let's change this color. This would change the background of the entire site. So if I go here, if I change this white color to, let's say, black, and save, and then go to the home page, we can now see that the background of the template is black. You would want to change the text here to be white or a brighter color if you're going for a darker color within the template. So you could just look at what is the color of the text. So I could go here and let's see, so it would be this one here, this 70%. So here for this color, I could just go in and change it from black with a 70% opacity. I could change it to white, and then save, and bam. And let's see, and let me change the alpha to 100, which is pretty much the opacity. And I think, that's it. So we've changed it to white, and now if we go back, most of the text should be white. So let's go ahead, so the project details is white and the details link. So the heading is a different color, so we'd have to go into the global swatch and change the heading color as well. All right, cool. Nice. So I pretty much just messed up a lot of the colors. So let me go ahead and try to undo some of that. Let's change this back to white, and I won't worry too much about the other text, or maybe I'll just change it back real quick. So as I'm going through the tutorial, it's a bit easier to work with. So I didn't select the global swatch here. So it's this one. Save. Nice. So yeah, it's good kind of to showcase kind of working with these global swatches. Let's see here. So this one is not that black was 70%. So let's edit this to this and save. I think that should be it, and go to the home page. Nice. Cool. So we have the colors back the way they should be, and great. So the next thing I'll cover, oh yeah, let's look at the few other pages. We have the image license page, and we have the password page. It's styled, so if the user goes to these pages, it matches the styling of the site. And if the user ends up on a page that's not on the site, they'll get this 404 page, and it matches kind of the styling of the site. Again, you can click here and replace the background image and kind of style this how you would like as well. All right, cool. So I think I've covered pretty much everything there. The next thing I'll cover is the search engine optimization. So the search engine optimization is pretty straightforward. We can just go to the Pages panel, open up the page settings here, click this gear icon, and right here we can add a new title tag and description. So I can say, new project and description for new project. So this is how the site would look in the search engines. This is the title and description. So after Google crawls it, this is how it would appear in the search engines. So you can add open graph information as well. You can add an open graph title and description. This is how it would show like on Facebook or LinkedIn, and I think WhatsApp as well. That's the open graph information, and you can add an open graph image URL, so you can have a nice image for the site when it shows up on Facebook and LinkedIn. And if you had site search, you could exclude the page from the site search results, and a few other options here as well. You can add custom code to the site. Custom code is available on accounts, on paid accounts, so not on a free account plan, and it's available if the site has a site plan added. All right, cool. But Webflow doesn't validate custom code, so you just need to make sure that the custom code works well with the site. Looks good. So that is the SEO. I'll go ahead and save there. The next thing I'll go over is the documentation available for the site. I've kind of gone over that a little bit in the earlier sections, but let's go ahead and take a look at that as well. Nice. So if I go to the template page, we have the documentation here. I can view the documentation, and we'll just let it load. Basically everything I covered in this tutorial is in the documentation. So let me scroll down. Yeah, we have typography, color usage, editing the contact block, understanding slide numbering, adding slides, and a few credits there. So yeah, you can take a look at what fonts have been used, or what type has been used for the site, the different colors that have been used, and where they have been applied on the site. The contact block, editing the contact block, which I went over, understanding the slide numbering, which I went over as well. It goes into this in a lot of detail because it is a bit of a more involved process. And then adding slides, so how to add a new slide to the project. Awesome. So the documentation is there. You can view it even prior to purchasing the template if you want to really get in there and see how the slide works and feel confident that you'll be able to work with this template once it's purchased. And then there's links here on the template page to different Webflow University videos that go over the different aspects of Webflow and working with Webflow. All right, so that is the documentation. The last thing I'll go over is support for the template. All right, so support, yeah, pretty straightforward as well. You can just email me at templates at WebDevForYou.com. And I'll be happy to provide support for the template to answer any questions. You can click right here on this link on the template page. You could even go to WebDevForYou.com, go to the contact page, and I have a section for templates right here. You can fill it out, first name, last name, email address. These fields are not super required, but you can add your email address, which is required, and just let me know what you need help with, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. So that's support for the template, and that's basically it. I pretty much covered everything with how to use the template. We went over the responsiveness of the template, how to add slides, working with the slider, interactions, the contact section, and basically the whole structure of the site and how to work with the site. Cool. So yeah, I use Sizzy in this video tutorial. I'll leave a link to Sizzy as well. It's a really cool application that lets you view the site on different devices. Awesome. So yeah, this video ended up being a bit longer than I expected, but I was happy to kind of go over all this information. This template can be found at WebDevForYou.com, and we can click on the Noah Scott template and preview. So on my site, Chrome is doing some weird thing with the border radius that needs to be updated, so I'll definitely do that. But yeah, you can access the template from there. You could also go to gumroad.com/webdevforyou, and you can take a view or take a look at all the templates I have here as well. And I have a few premium content videos that go over how to include different custom code in your site to achieve really cool effects in Webflow. All right, awesome. So that is it for this video tutorial. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks everyone who's been leaving comments and feedback. I really appreciate it. I am trying this new thing with videos where I'm showing my face a bit more. Let me know if you like it or if it's distracting, because I know sometimes when viewing these type of video tutorials, you might just want to see the content and not worry about my face here. So yeah, definitely let me know. Any feedback is appreciated. I'm thinking about bringing back the daily interactions. We'll see. But yeah, I'll be making more video tutorials on just building in Webflow. But these templates are a great way to get started quickly in Webflow. Yeah, without having to do too much work in the beginning, just customizing, and you get a bit of practice with Webflow and how things work, looking at the structure of the site. And yeah, if you like the template, it can just be a quick way to showcase your work without putting too much effort into building a site from scratch. All right, so yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video tutorial. Thank you.